Hi, I am in Korea, in Yonggi-do Park. Art is a luxury. I've been told that many, many times, and part of the reason I decided to also pursue a career in marketing is because I believe that. I believed at a certain point in my life that art is not a necessity, that it is a luxury, that only the wealthy actually would need or want to buy paintings, or only the wealthy would actually have the time to write poetry because they don't actually make money. But the last several days have been well, I've always known to a certain extent. Sorry, I'm in Unido Park, so there's a lot of noise, road noise. But the last several days, I've always known that there is something in there in that statement that art is a luxury and not a necessity. I've always known that there is some untruth in that statement. But the last several weeks, maybe, have been sort of helpful in articulating my thoughts around that topic. I went to visit a museum earlier. It was actually the folk museum above the Lotte World, and one of the things that they feature is in one section they actually showed the art, the carvings on the walls, the paintings on the wall that ancient people did and made in order to record the kind of life that they were living. So the how they were eating, how they were hunting, they they depicted that through the drawings on the wall. And if it wasn't for that, the modern historians and the modern archaeologists would have no way of knowing exactly the kind of life that these ancient people were living. And so I realized that art plays a very critical part in not just documenting people's lives or history, but basically connecting the past to the present. If it wasn't for those drawings and for those carvings on the wall, then we wouldn't have known that this the weapons that they were using, how they were cooking their food and stuff like that. So no, it's not just a luxury. It's sort of a very critical component in the evolution of life. It was really the art that ancient people created that revealed exactly to these archaeologists and historians the kind of life that they were living then, and it was vital in understanding the kind of people that we are now and how we have developed and evolved to the kind of people that we are today, and how eventually we will evolve. But then also outside of that, I realized as I was going through some of the pots and clay pots that ancient people used to cook, they actually created patterns on the pots. And I realized that they did not have to do that. It was the pots, they created those to cook their food. And yet they had patterns in them to make, just designs. Which made me again realize that it is innate in us. It is innate in people to want to make things beautiful, things around them beautiful, to make their life beautiful. So it's actually instinct in us. It's very instinctive to want to make things beautiful or orderly, or to create some patterns around us. Um, if you pull back even more, maybe it's not just our natural inclination. It's not just humanity's inclination, but it could also be divine, regardless of what you believe in. Because if you look at our skin under a microscope, it looks disgusting. It looks like hairy fur balls of particles that were stuck together to form some just disgusting in general. But if you pull out, after all of these atoms and cells are put together, they form our skin. What you see is a smooth covering for a smooth surface that covers the entirety of our body. We see brown or white or black, or when we have emotions, we either see pink or red, depending on the emotions that we feel. We see freckles and we see pimples and we see shine and we see sweat. Um, so it, on in its basic level, it's just ugly. But you pull back a little bit, it's actually very beautiful, and we can even pull back even uh, in an even larger scale. Look at the sky. It's actually out there. It's just uh, fireballs that are big enough to kill you on impact. It's just violent and noisy. It's just violence out there. Um, but from here, what we see is a blue sky that's relaxing, that's beautiful. We see stars that guide us in the night, and we see the moon and the clouds that inspire us to create things that are beautiful, or inspire us to think about life. Um, so maybe that's how we that's the way that either God or whatever it is that you believe in, it's the device that He created in order to make things bearable for us. He made things, He made the ugly things beautiful in our eyes for us to for it for life to be bearable for us. So I it's not a luxury, it's not unimportant, it is significant, it's important, and it's second nature to everybody. It's instinctive and probably even divine. And so it sort of knocked the wind out of me realizing that, because I just thought about the songs that all these K-pop stars are creating, or the movies that directors and writers are making right now, and paintings that painters are creating right now. You know, 10 years, 20, 30, 100 years from now, somebody's going to say that and use that to gain an insight in the kind of life that we're living, or gain an insight inside our minds, inside our heads. And that is so profound and so big and so exciting, and also so inspiring. It definitely inspired me and made me kind of want to do better. I've always created art just for, like, I would, whatever is good for me is what I would create. But realizing that art is the one that has connected the past to the present. Art has been the one that has been able to explain the kind of life that these people were living in the ancient times, and realizing that could happen to us in the future as well. Um, it's just it just made me want to do better. So when my niece, I'm actually here to accompany my niece to watch the Stray Kids concert, and I watched the first day. She's watching first day and second day. So today's the second day I'm here in Han River, Yongido Park actually, and I'm going to go to the Han River in a bit. I'm going to take you there with me. But it made me appreciate what they're doing. When I went there and saw all these young people exchanging art pieces, or selling art pieces that they've created inspired by the lyrics of the songs of their band, the band that they're supporting, or inspired by the artist itself, I realized that this may look superficial and juvenile to many other people, but nurturing this is also important because it is art. They're nurturing art. I know people are gonna say that it's not art, that it is trash and whatever. But no, if you listen to many of the songs that they're singing, there's actually something in there. They say things that that need to be said, but we don't want to say. They say it in ways that are way better than many of the global and worldwide and US hits. So it's just the prejudice is a little too much, that we fail to actually give everybody a chance. We miss the beauty of the art that these people are creating. Um, some of them are trash, but many of them are actually good. So yeah, it's just, as I've said, it just made me realize the kind of culture, appreciate. It made me appreciate the kind of culture that they're nurturing, and hopefully, they will all grow up and actually evolve to become better art patrons or better artists. Um, yeah, I just, if you're an artist or if you're a fan and if people are looking down on you, don't mind them. um, what you're doing is important, whether you are creating art or supporting art. What you are doing matters, and don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. um, Thank you, and I will be walking to the Han River, and I'll take you with me.